Back again with another YouTube video. It's your boy Uriah G. Today we're gonna react to WWE 2K25 was scary. I'ma make sure I put the link of the description in the description of my video. We're gonna react to WWE 2K25 was very. I'm also right now watching No Mercy NXT live, but we're gonna react to this for the third time. We're gonna react to WWE 2K25 was very. Let's get right into the video.
Listen up, football fans. You won't.
Alright, we got an ad to start off. Wait.
Latest installment of WWE's main series is here once again. After the fallout of WWE 2K20, 2K Sports took it upon themselves to reinvent the series and bring a new coat of paint to the tired and exhausted game engine. They promised a new game engine, and WWE 2K22 is very different to the previous games. That game had a distinctive vibe about it that I don't think the next games could match. It's the 2-year wait along with the highly anticipated changes to the engine. WWE 2K22 shaped up the next game, and they were all slightly better than the last one. The WWE 2K24 was a massive success for WWE and 2K Sports financially, but for as many changes and inclusions they added to the game, it still felt like something was missing to truly push the games to the very top. 24 had some fun stuff too, but once I let go of the game, I didn't care much for it. And the issue is that the game is full of content. They update the My Faction scam, of course, but there's plenty of things to do. And it gets to the point where I actually believe that it's because we're older. But the games are better than the last. Not by much, but if you go from 2K22 to 2K25, it will definitely be felt. I don't consider myself much of a gamer. I'm very casual, so it's not like I'm hooked on many games. There's a lot of games out there.
Yeah, like, we can say the newer WWE games are not like the older ones, but they are bringing back all like the old features. I think they're gonna bring back Road to WrestleMania. They're gonna bring back Story Designer. I think that's like create a story mode or something like this, like create Story Designer. What else they're gonna bring back? Match types. I think they already brought back some match types. They're probably gonna bring back more. But Road to WrestleMania, that's what I'm looking forward to.
You to play, but personally I find it hard to immerse myself into said game. But with the wrestling games, I get caught like a crackhead in the 70s, but the moment I let go a little, I don't even think of the game. 2K25 didn't have much hype to it. I think 24's had way more attention compared to this year's game, but of course 2K worked in silence. It's never a good thing to see 2K working in silence, but this game is the exception. There was flashbacks to 2K20 because since then, they were mostly transparent, but that wasn't the case here. I wanted to do this around WrestleMania time, but just didn't feel like.
I think they're supposed to do, for 2K Showcase mode, I think they're gonna do the Samoan family, like the Bloodline thing. I think that's what they're doing. I think they're doing Bloodline.
Okay, nobody even asked for it. In addition, I wanted to wait for the patches to give a much fairer assessment of the game. If I do one on 2K26, it just might be out within the month of release. As always, the gameplay is the most important facet of a game. If the gameplay flops, the whole thing falls down. 2K20 is an example of that. The game had a lot of good in it, but the gameplay ruins everything about it. 2K22's engine is still featured in the games, but with some slight tuning to it. The wrestlers' fighting stance has been toned down a bit. They're still in the game, but not as obvious and strong as previously. There's a very unnecessary inclusion because this is a wrestling game, not Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. It didn't need to be in the game. The matches include lockups, and whatever you see in the beginning of a match, it's pretty detailed for its return. Chain wrestling is always welcomed by me because 2K's goal is to match a real match, and even if it was an arcadey game, I still would want that in there. Because plenty of matches started with some intense chain wrestling.
I think they're gonna change the submissions. I think it's like a spam button. You like tap the button over again. I think they're bringing that back.
Your collar and elbows. The action itself is much smoother than the previous ones. And it amazed me a bit because 2K24 was silky as hell and one of the smoothest games I've ever played. There's some great excitement from me hitting a power slam as Randy Orton, and the sequences are very enjoyable and engaging at times. Sometimes the AI knows what the hell they're doing, and the tougher the AI is, the better the matches. I personally tweaked the AI a bit and the matches feel longer and more challenging. Like this match here, I can't even describe how many minutes it took me to actually win this elimination match. I believe it was like 40 minutes, all because I messed with the AI a bit. It was crazy. Like these guys were kicking out of 6, 7 finishers. It was outrageous stuff. It was a bit OD. I wouldn't even say a bit because I was frustrated by the end, but it was certainly an enjoyable match to play despite the annoyance of having the AI kick out of everything. I still wish 2K made the AI harder by default, but we can only hope. The fact that they added those details with the AI tuning in 2K24 was great. They also added some smaller things.
I usually just play on normal mode, but should I start playing on Legend? Because I feel like if I play on Legend, I'm gonna definitely lose. I'm probably not gonna lose. I just feel like they're gonna kick out of more finishers, and then they're gonna reverse more moves. That's usually what's gonna happen.
Such as superstar downtime, and for as much as I lose interest in these games, it gives me a lot of hope that 2K26 or 2K27 will be the ultimate game in terms of the actual gameplay, although that's probably false hope. I don't think this engine has reached its final form at all. The ball and combo thing is still in the game. It still feels a bit too easy to reverse to the point where I started turning it off for a real challenge. Stamina is much better with the final stretch of the match feeling like hell. Giants feel more menacing in the early parts of the match. Like here, I was struggling with knocking down The Undertaker, Kevin Nash, Kane. It's tough. I didn't seem to notice this with the previous games, so it probably was a new inclusion. The in-ring gameplay is still very familiar with slight tweaks that work for the game. I hope there's some pizzazz with it in future titles because they have a good base. It just needs that additional element to push it higher. For one, there still needs to be an initiation to hit the move you want. Like the Irish Whip should just have a single button to it in future titles because they have a good base. I get it for something like a suplex where they grab them, but it doesn't need to be initiated for every move. Like why do we got a double tap circle? And it's not that much of a big deal for me personally, but
I think that Roman Reigns just hit a jackhammer, but that's besides the point.
Would be better if it was like how it was in the older games. For one, we need quick grapples back. Other than that, the core gameplay is mostly the same as 2K24. There are small additions such as blood for the woman and the bruises actually show up for wrestlers. The cuts are cool. They had me thinking I was actually beating up on some of these guys, like this match over here.
You can wrestle in the WWE live arena.
Multi-man matches are pretty challenging. It's a bit annoying though because when they store up the finishers, they just destroy you, and with the pinfall system, it's almost impossible to kick out. The submission system is the one from 2K16 and 2K20, which is a good one. I actually enjoy that one more compared to the previous one. That one is still in the game, but it's used more for my faction. You could still use it as an alternate option if you want. That one is hell in ambulance matches. I just want to say, you can barely pull something out, and it's so unfairly beneficial to the AI. This was an issue from 2K24 still prevalent in the game. Nowadays, you can climb barricades. Ladder match mini game is tweaked.
Do you guys like mini games in WWE games? I mean, mini games aren't too bad. I don't really, cause they have they have a mini game option also in the DS SmackDown vs. Raw 2010. I know that's an old game, but that's just an example. The mini game option, like WWE 2K17, that's okay. I mean, I could still win the Money in the Bank or win a ladder match with that, but we have an ad right now.
System I called it here, I don't know, that sounds stupid. The minigame is a bit different. It was one of the most frustrating experiences in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. It's almost as hard as having Tamina of all people win the thing in real life. Intergender matches are finally back. We haven't seen this since SVR 2009. They're letting go of the restriction and making the game more free. Special referees looser, but as of recently, it's turned into a broken mess. And that's something I've noticed recently. First of all, you can't use a special referee in a custom arena. And second, I've seen more bugs after launch than I've ever seen for a WWE game. It's not as messy as 2K20, but every day with every new patch, I hear something is glitchy. Underground is a new big match inclusion in 2K25.
Yeah, I haven't played, I don't think I played WWE 2K25 yet. But I would like to try that match type. The underground match, where there's no ring ropes. You just throw your opponent out the ring.
I have a lot of fun with this. You could do some sort of shoot fight in universe mode, and it brings a different realm to matches. They also made it interactive, you know, like tackling off the barricade. You could throw them to the post and then get sent flying. It's just awesome. The tackling off the apron is just awesome. It's one of my most played matches in the entire game. You can get some random bots on the side cheering on while you beat the life out of your opponent. It's an easy match to book in universe mode when you want to end a feud. My hope is that they allow for you to include actual wrestlers on the outside. That would do a lot for me. I wish the games realized they were games, like an underground fight on top of a high-rise building, or a blood sport tournament, or some sort of King of the Ring tournament in a mansion or something like. Why can't we have this kind of stuff? But the best match inclusion is the Bloodline rules. This is chaotic in a way that reminds you of the old games. Bloodline rules is no disqualification. Both guys have 3 men that run in every few minutes, and it's such a hilarious match, especially if said wrestler doesn't have any allies. Like, why the hell am I seeing X-Pac and Bruno Sammartino coming out to save Cody Rhodes? They come out 3v1, you call for backup, and the action is all over the place. Backstage brawls have improved, brought more interactive areas. I still think that this is a match type that needs more to it. I don't think they've even scratched the surface in this match type. Overall, WWE 2K25's gameplay is still very familiar. There's not anything majorly different with the gameplay itself, but these inclusions are very welcoming. I still think the gameplay itself could be more challenging and offer variety. If you're wondering what kind of variety I'm talking about, well, I hope to see more adrenaline moments, like a momentum shift of sorts. Like the AI does activate their...
I literally just said, nah, I might have to scrap this video. Cause there's no way. I said that the bloodline thing was in WWE 2K26. No, they already did that before. What do y'all think they're gonna do? Showcase. I'm gonna just put that in the comments. I'm gonna say, what should they do WWE 2K Showcase mode for 26?
Payback and hit a finisher, but I wish there was more of a lead up to that in a situation where you realize that the match is changing in front of you. I still think they could get more out of the gameplay. It can mix realism and arcade, and they seem to understand that in the no DQ and multi-man matches, so maybe that will follow through to the actual gameplay. Overall, it is better than 2K24, no doubt about it. One small thing that I really love is the camera angles. Playing in third person unlocks another dimension to the game. It's super fun in the multi-man matches, and the camera thing altogether from last year is one of the best small features in a WWE game. The fact that it looks like Here Comes the Pain, you can see the stage, all that, incredible. I think AEW Fight Forever inspired them to bring it back, and it's stuff like this that I wish...
That's definitely shows you, that I haven't played WWE 2K25, because I don't even think I have.
2K implemented, because you could add all the realism, but just also add things that are in video games.
Kurt Angle, he's playing basketball. Did y'all see that?
Okay, graphics. 2K22's graphics remain imprinted with WWE 2K25. They are slightly different, feature minor improvements, but the complaints that fans have about the hair and how stiff certain things are remain. That's always going to be tough to tackle. I still think that when the PS6 comes out and GTA 6 is still in development, that 2K will have issues with these movements. I don't see it being solved and seems very complicated, otherwise it would have been a thing of the past. I'm not a programmer, I don't know anything about that stuff. My IQ points dropped 10 points when I tried to program a single line of code, so I'm just saying, they know better than us. But there's not much to say about the graphics. It seems like they added a filter to make it seem like there's major changes. A lot of the wrestlers don't look as good as they did in 2K24. That damn light filters in NBA 2K25 too. They always try to cut corners to make it seem like there's major changes. Like this image of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is a constant with 2K Sports. Same here with the WWE games, although some of the characters look hideous. Cody Rhodes looks pretty bad. Sheamus. Other than that, they got the big wrestlers down great as usual. Lita, this is a bit of 2K24. Lita went from one of the worst models to one of the best, which is nice. 2K24 changed everything for her. She always had a bad representation in the games and was weirdly misshaped. Overall, graphics don't change the game, nor are they a huge deal, because you could only push so far. I remember that jump from PS3 to PS4 was huge and out of this world. PS4 to PS5 doesn't feel huge, and honestly, the graphics are the least of my worries. Yeah, it's a PS5 game and it should push to be ambitious, but when you waste more and more memory space on tiny pixels and abandon the rest of the game, it doesn't work well. Just ask TNA Impact. The lighting though to me is great in a bunch of arenas. WrestleMania 9 is perfect, one of the most authentic arenas in the entire game. WrestleMania 31 is captured excellent.
WrestleMania 9. That arena in the game looks really well, but I think, is that the one where it was like Yokozuna versus Hulk or something? Nah. Or was it Yokozuna versus Bret Hart? It was one of those matches.
WrestleMania 9 is perfect, one of the most authentic arenas in the entire game. WrestleMania 31 is captured excellently and has that California vibe. There's not a single weakness with it. I wish WrestleMania 39 was still in the game. It's really an insane arena, and along with WrestleMania 10 and 20, some of the best arenas I've ever seen in a wrestling game, and they probably have them hidden in the files, possibly. And again, I'm talking nonsense right now. They had these arenas last.
And you can say it's definitely because of the graphics. You know, the graphics in WWE games are way better. They look real updated, the mechanics and all that stuff.
and I'm just like, if only we had them this year. Roster. WWE 2K24's roster boasts a healthy amount of legends and current day stars. It's actually one of the most up-to-date wrestling games ever, and that's often been a complaint from fans. WWE games are more individual compared to Madden, 2K, and FIFA. Those sports titles often have the camera less focused on the players, and they can get away with more, not to mention that WWE wrestlers have to have a lot of detail and attention towards them. With advancements in technology, the gap seems to close in, and 2K is doing a much better job of up-to-date rosters. There's a very strong NXT representation here, which is always nice. It shows that WWE and 2K are willing to invest more and more into the games. This is the most stacked women's roster of all time, and plenty of new additions all around from the brands in the history of wrestling. The Legends roster has plenty of more variety to it and also provides some unique inclusions such as Abyss, the Great Khali, Paul Orndorff, the New Age Outlaws, which is the first time since SmackDown 2 Noir Roll that the entirety of D-Generation X is in a game. You know, because all the other years they had Billy Gunn, X-Pac, but they didn't have China. But the craziest inclusion is New Jack. Now tell me, why New Jack is in a WWE game? This guy, now I'm not even trying to talk for a dead person, but he probably would have accepted the money and still cursed them out for messing up something of his. They actually played his music, not his real music, throughout the match, which is funny, but it's stunning. I just saw this guy curse out half the roster, the Dudley Boys in particular, in a shoot interview and saying the weirdest, most outrageous stuff on TikTok. This guy in a game? But it's welcoming. ECW actually has some great representation here. They of course need Sabu and a couple of others, such as Taz, Shane Douglas, and Raven, but it's not.
Should they do an ECW showcase mode? I don't know about all that. I mean, ECW fans will love that, but I don't know if they would do that. Maybe in the future they would.
Not so bad. There's a lot of talent in this game that it's insane. Yeah, there's omissions such as Goldberg, Ric Flair, and others, but this is one of the best rosters you'll ever get. They added Bull Nakano, Abyss, and if it keeps on going like this, I wouldn't be shocked. Well, actually I would, but I think eventually they'll bring TNA versions of their icons such as AJ Styles, Kurt Angle, and some surprises like Shark Boy. They might even expand beyond that and get some insane
Shark Boy from TNA.
names like Stan Hansen, Dr. Death, and some other WWF names from the Attitude Era such as Steve Blackman, Crash Holly, Hardcore Holly, and these guys. Like, it's only a matter of time. It feels like these games are bringing in more money, so obviously means more investment in the game. New inclusions to the roster are mostly from NXT. We got Penta, Stephanie Vaquer, Kalani Jordan, Lola Vice. The women's roster is much deeper.
Really? Come on. We have an ad right here.
And even Aleister Black. I actually expect them to add Brock Lesnar in a patch. 2K actually are up to date with the roster. Yeah, there's some dumb inclusions like Pat McAfee's friends last year, some random celebrities, but they really care about the roster. My faction, the industry plant of WWE 2K games, the one that is never going away, my faction. As you know, my team is one of their big cash cows in NBA series. I play a little bit of both, but I prefer to stick with offline mode. I just can't bring myself to play much of my faction. I do like the concept of World Tour because you could actually unlock some cards you wouldn't have had the chance to do, but it's very tedious and time consuming. I remember playing for 4 days straight after launch trying to get the CM Punk 2010 card, and it was tough. It was very tough, and at some points I stare at the wall and think, is this worthwhile? And there's some cool rewards there, but a lot of it involves paying actual money.
The orange and blue John Cena, what is that, the 2010 attire?
Need to get somebody you had for free in 2K23, such as 2009 Randy Orton. And when I returned to the game, I discovered that 09 Orton is unattainable since it was a limited time live event. And that's very annoying because if you're a person who tries to 100% a game, they ruin it for you. And it's like, time's running out, I kind of have to spend money to get this Randy Orton card. It's these horrible practices that turn others.
Okay. I actually prefer that mini game option for 25 than the older ones where it's like you move it around and you have to put it inside, like, but you know, the mini games from the older WWE games. Yeah, I actually prefer the 25. I don't think I've played that. So yeah, let's continue.
Away from the games. You have a perfectly great model in hiding inside the stupid island or my faction. The island, for that matter, is a bigger cash cow. It's not even as good as NBA's one. That's blended with my career, and while a lot of it is a scam, it's a better scam than this one. The island is bland, boring, and clearly rushed. I feel like 2K should have used their resources to focus on the actual game because he had something good going on here. The island is a slop, it's insignificant. If you play it, good for you. I'm just talking from my perspective, I don't like it. Now, when I heard the island was revealed, I liked the concept of having a custom character, but the way 2K does, it automatically makes you think, Oh, it's a better idea to play universe mode. My faction is much better but very time consuming, and also doesn't bring the satisfactory level of NBA or FIFA. I almost think it's a terrible idea to have this concept for a wrestling game, but if the stockholders are happy, I'm happy. No, I'm not happy. 2K aren't gonna care about what the customer thinks, because one way or another, someone is going to spend money. There's going to be some whales, there's going to be some people that blow as much money as possible on these games. And I also seen that there's a strong chance of 2003 and 1998 Kane coming in due to some file updates recently, and that alone is going to bring a lot of people in. I'm almost tempted, but we're not falling for it. I play FIFA's card game way more, and while I'm about as cheap as Julius, I still have a decent team. Why would I do it for a game that I play offline? I don't play the WWE games online. It's annoying. All around, my faction is much better this year. There's a lot more variety in the rewards, and it's a bit easier to get said rewards, but a lot of the matches are long. Like, why do I have to face Tony D'Angelo and his faction all the time? I don't know, but that's my faction for you. WWE 2K24's soundtrack was a massive disappointment for me. I despise that soundtrack like no other WWE game. It felt so far out of the left field, and after
Yeah, the WWE 2K soundtracks used to be really good. I don't know. Is the music really good in WWE 2K soundtracks anymore? Or
few days, I just listened to Spotify. Now, Spotify will always be your best friend, of course, but sometimes you'd like to turn off Spotify and listen to the actual soundtrack. Well, I didn't like some of the last 2 years. They grew on me as a collective, so now I like them. And 2K24 didn't offer that with Post Malone. Why am I hearing sad songs in a wrestling game? I'm not trying to cry. I'm trying to play some wrestling, bro. 2K25's soundtrack isn't my favorite, but it's way better than 24's. I thought 23 had a vibe. Bullet for My Valentine, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Metallica, Quevedo, and Bizarrap. They offered variety. There was certainly variety with 25, in a much looser way. We had Eminem, Denzel Curry, Mexican OT, Suicide Boys, J Balvin, Jelly Roll, Poppy. There's a lot of different things here. My favorite song is Ratata by Baby Metal and Electric Callboy. I know everyone has issues with the soundtrack, but they're never gonna satisfy everyone. And I also don't think we should go back to the SVR 2007 soundtrack.
alright, that was WWE 2K25 was very. Tell me what you guys want to see next in the comments down below. I got more videos coming. Stay tuned, subscribe, like, comment, and yeah, Uriah out.